Did you know that Muammar Gaddafi was setting up an African development bank with $70 billion in the African Development Bank from Libyan oil money? That we would not have to borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank at these exorbitant rates. Well, I was with Muammar Gaddafi when Gaddafi in 1999 advanced coming out of the OAU to the African Union with a vision of the United States of Africa. Muammar Gaddafi spent, listen to me, billions of dollars to create the African Union. Did you know that Gaddafi gave $300 million and the other African nations gave $100 million to put up a satellite so that we who call Africa don't have to go through Europe to get to Africa? And Europe was getting $500 million a year just by our telephone calls to the continent. Now we can call directly to Africa, and that $500 million is in the hand of African people. Did you know that Muammar Gaddafi was setting up an African development bank with $70 billion in the African Development Bank from Libyan oil money? That we would not have to borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank at these exorbitant rates. Zero interest under Islamic non-usury teachings. I just left St. Kitts, and in the island of St. Kitts, he was going to set up a Caribbean development bank. He told the prime minister there, and he was going to put $1 billion in that bank for Caribbean development. Why do you think they killed him? You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no. They killed him because, listen to me real good. You touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya, nobody's homeless? Listen, everybody in Libya has either a home or an apartment. They call it a flat. Did you know education in Libya is free from kindergarten through college? And did you know that if a Libyan wanted to come to America to be educated, the government in Libya paid for their education? Did you know that? I was there when he opened a $500 million hospital with 18 theaters for operation. I was there, and we went when he was making their own medicines. See, this was a man that gave free medical attention to all the citizens of Libya. And if Libya did not offer that kind of medical attention, they could fly anywhere in the world and get it, and the Libyan government would pay for it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that from the oil money, every Libyan citizen got a stipend every year? And did you know that that man had no debt? Everything in his country was paid for. See? Now, when you got a man that did that for an African nation and was trying to do that for all Africa, how do you think Europe felt about it?
Thank you, Minister Louis, for this great enlightenment. Thank you guys for staying with me throughout this video. In today's video, we're going to talk about Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was a Libyan leader. I would say he was a president or a prime minister. He wasn't actually, given a title. Yeah, he ruled from 1979 throughout to 2011. That he was, he was assassinated by some rebels. I think most of us knows. I don't want to go into it much. I'm sure most of you guys around my age, we heard a lot about Gaddafi. We heard his name, but we didn't actually know what he did or what he was doing for his country. So basically, we heard a lot about him. We heard some were saying he was a dictator. Some were saying they were saying a lot, but some were also saying a lot good things about him. Yes, that's what I heard. I heard everyone in Libya was being paid. They live for free. They live in a house for free. Everything in Libya was free. That was what I heard. So when he was, assassinated, or it got to a point that he was, there were a lot of protests going on that he's been on for so long on the sea that he needs to step down for someone also to come. So we were like, that, because we heard a lot of good things about this man. He was doing a lot of things for Libyans, and most African countries were not that lucky to have that president. So what was actually their problem? Up to now, we don't know. Some were saying a lot of things. They were saying he was a bad man. He was he has to step down for someone to also come and sit and rule Libya. That was what they were saying. But I was like, if you have all this for free, who cares? If Libya is one of the most successful African countries during his era, then why should you, want him to step down if he's doing a good job? I mean, even those African president leaders who are doing nothing, they are doing nothing. They are they're making things worse. They should be the one who we should push pressure to step down, not someone who is doing so much for Libya, and not Libya alone, for Africa. So I don't understand. It's like Africans, I don't know. So if you look closely, it's like it was an external force. It was because I heard he was trying to unite after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was also trying to unite Africa, trying to set up Central Bank of Africa, so at least so that we don't go to IM for to borrow money. He was trying to unite. So I think the West, they were not happy. That's what I'm saying. Why would you be lucky if you are trying to set up a currency that will bring down US dollars, that will bring down euros, that will bring down pound? Come on. That's our problem. So I think some Africans, some Libyans, were bribed, to push this agenda, to bring the man down. And now look at Libya. Now Libya is worse. Since Gaddafi left, it is worse. They have nothing now. So many benefits that way they used to have, now it's none. They don't have any. So Africans, I don't understand. Who is actually our problem? Like, what is actually our problem? Like, who is our enemy? Are we our own enemies, or I don't get it. Look at what was happening. African leaders were all mute. African Union did nothing, because most of them are puppets. So they're just there, they don't go here, then they go here, then they go. They did nothing. They knew that what they were doing, they did to Gaddafi was wrong. They knew what they did to Gaddafi was wrong. But nobody wanted to say anything because most of African leaders, their hands are tied. They are tied up. There's nothing they can do. So basically, this was, I didn't know most what Dr. Louis was saying. I knew a little bit. I did not know much like this. So basically, that's what Dr. Louis was, saying, confirming that he was there. He's a witness. He witnessed all the good things and the great things Gaddafi was doing for Libya. Not for Libya alone, for Africa. He did a lot for Africa, but I don't know what our problems are. I don't know why Africans, we are our own enemies. That's what I don't get it. That's what I don't understand. A great man like this was brought down for nothing. He was brought down because of some greedy people. He was brought down just because they don't want Africa to grow. They don't want Africa to prosper. Why? So this is what we keep reminding ourselves, as Africans, that we used to have these great men who tried to fight for Africa, who tried to, make Africa great, a better place for all of us to live in. But due to our own greed, some Africans, our own greediness, we were able to, we were deceived to bring all these great people down. Thank you guys for watching this video with me, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.